this video, we're going to show you how to install the passenger side front engine mount on your Nissan Versa, located right up here on the front side of the engine. On the upper engine cover here, you're going to find two 10mm bolts. Go ahead, loosen and remove those. Once those are loose and removed, you can now go ahead and grab this cover, pop it up, and set it aside. We're going to put our jack underneath the engine. What we're going to do is we're just going to support the engine. We're not going to jack it up. That way there, when we unbolt our motor mount, the engine won't drop down. Now we're going to position the jack underneath the oil pan. We have a block of wood there to keep the jack from damaging the pan. I'm just going to jack this up just until we feel a little bit of pressure, and that's it right there. On this upper horizontal mount, we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove this 18mm bolt here. Set that bolt aside. Now at this point here, you could remove this horizontal bolt here for this dog bone and pull this out. What we're going to do instead, we're going to remove these four 16mm bolts holding the bracket and this mount. This is going to allow us, when we loosen this mount here, to pull this up and out of the way. Get our fourth bolt back here. Now that we have all four of those loose, we're just going to get our impact gun and zip that right out quick. And at this point here, you can see the motor dropping down a little bit. We're going to use our jack to go ahead and lift that back up a little bit. With that stabilized, we'll continue removing the hardware. Then you want to pay attention to the bolts. These two are the same. That's the same size. And our fourth one in the back, they're all the same size. Okay, that bracket is loose. And we're going to use our 19mm socket and our ratchet, and we want to go ahead and loosen and remove a horizontal bolt. Now you can do this now, or you can do it before you undo these other bolts here. On the front side of the mount, down here, there are two 16mm bolts. I'm going to go ahead and loosen these bolts here. Now there's two on the front and there's one on the back side. Now with those bolts broken free, I'm going to use the impact gun and go ahead and zip those out. Spin that up, pop that up, and remove the mount. Now before we reinstall everything, I'm going to go ahead and clean out any debris in here. Let's go ahead and lower our new mount down in a position. Work the bracket down inside. Jack up the motor, get that lined up. I'm going to go ahead and get the 3 bolts for the motor mount started first by hand. Now I'm not going to tighten these yet. Just want to get those in a few threads. Install our horizontal bolt through the mount and into the bracket. Going to install our vertical bolt here. Next, install the 4 bolts for the bracket into the motor itself. Here, you're going to go ahead and use your jack, raise up the motor accordingly, get that in a position, and you're just going to move things around. You can grab that motor and move that left and right to get that positioned wherever you need that to be. Make sure you start all of these by hand. You do not want to cross thread these bolts. I actually want to remove this bolt here. All right, once you get all 4 of these bolts started, we can go ahead and start tightening things down. Now I'm just going to use my ratchet, continue to zip these in a little bit. I'm going to switch over to my impact. And we'll snug these down. our upper bolt. Now that we have all of our bolts in, we have our main bracket here secured in place. We can now lower down our supporting jack from underneath and remove that altogether. Torque down the 3 bolts for our mount to 48 foot-pounds. Our horizontal bolt is going to be torqued to 77 foot-pounds. I'm going to torque down our bracket bolts to 33 foot-pounds. There's 4 of those. Torque down our vertical bolt to 48 foot-pounds. Install your upper engine cover. You want to flip it over, locate the 2 plastic studs or pins here, and that is going to fit into these rubber grommets on the forward part of the intake. Pop those down inside, and we'll get our 2 bolts started up top here. Once you get those started by hand, we can go ahead and snug those down. You're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.